Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 180 podcast. This is our podcast where we are talking and getting to understand different societal norms and hopefully learning how we can, break them and kind of change our way of thinking. For this month, we are on a new topic. We're going to be talking about cultural and traditional norms. I am very excited to hear what everyone has to say.
Yep.
So I think we should just jump right into it. I'll start by introducing myself as one of our hosts for today. My name is Daniel.
I am Tanya. I am one of the other co hosts.
I'm Haley.
I'm Nathaniel.
Y'all, it's Dobie.
And I'm Prince.
I'm a gay.
I'm Christian, one of the special guests.
My name is Josiah. I'm also one of the co-hosts.
Special ed.
Before we start, I want before we start, I wanted to bring everyone's attention to when we walked in, we saw a photo booth, right? Does everyone know what that photo booth is for?
What photo booth?
I think I know,
Chinese
but I
New
don't
Year.
know what it's called. Some people say it's Chinese New Year, but I think it's called Lunar New Year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you are correct, right? So it is called Lunar New Year, but there is some people who do call it Chinese New Year. It is a much more recent term to call it Lunar New Year. The reason is just simply because Chinese New Year is a little outdated because more than just Chinese people who celebrate this holiday. So I thought that since Lunar New Year is coming up and it's such a big event for me and my family and where we come from, that we would center our podcast questions around celebrations and how we celebrate stuff from how where you came from or from how your ancestors did, right? So to start us off, what is a celebration or ritual that you have inherited that you perform exactly like your ancestors did? And why is it important to keep that thread unbroken? I'll say something. I don't think there is any tradition or celebration that we have kept exactly the same because those traditions and celebrations. Specifically, I come from Vietnam, but I was born here. My parents came from Vietnam. It's very hard for us to perform those traditions exactly like we did in Vietnam, simply just because we don't have the right space or we don't have the right items, because some of them are they require certain setups, right? Or they require all your family members. Unfortunately, not all my family members are in Canada. So it's very hard to just have it exactly the same.
I kind of agree with your point because how we celebrate New Year's back home, like because I'm Nigerian, right? You kind of kind of have like a little party, like a large gathering, friends, my family. So kind of have a lot of people together. But here it's mostly just me, my mom, and, like my brother. So it's not really a big celebration. So just us just coming together, just like having a nice time.
I'm actually kind of struggling with this question because in my family, I don't think we really have many traditions or specific celebrations or rituals that we do. I mean, we have like, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like, we have like a family dinner, but um I mean, I guess you can consider that like that's a tradition. But we don't really do any sort of like big celebrations. But even these just kind of like family get-togethers around the holidays, like over the last couple of years, have gotten a lot smaller. Whether that's from like some family moving or even just some kind of you know situations that might have happened within the family. So some family has kind of broken apart. Um, yeah, a lot of it has kind of changed within the last couple of years. COVID as well has
Oh,
kind of,
yes,
I think, played a
definitely.
part in that. And yeah, so it's definitely tough. I think yeah, this one was kind of a hard one to answer on my end. But yeah, what about the rest of you guys? Any other celebrations or cultural traditions?
I'm from Barbados. In my country, we have something I spoke about on the last podcast. We have what we call crop over. It's a
Mhm.
cultural celebration where we celebrate the. It was from slavery. It's something that we endorsed from slavery, and we, as a people,
Yes.
we've empowered it so it signifies not slavery but us breaking from slavery. So it's our celebration that we're celebrating the fact that we've already harvested all of our crop for the year and we're getting ready to go into the winter season. We have a big festival. We call it crop over, kaduman, jump up day, and it's basically we go out, we dress up, we just have fun in the streets, and it's something that we celebrate. But I don't know if we celebrate the same as it has been in history. I think as different niches have been established, I think society and government agencies and just us as a people, we just tend to sway more to things that are more accommodating and more mainstream, and we
Mm,
break away from the traditional meaning behind these things. I think.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, on that topic of celebrations, just to give you some context onto where this next question is, I won't say a couple years ago, but a while ago, when Twitter was still Twitter, we had a tweet that went viral. And the tweet said something along the lines of, if you're not Asian, you're not allowed to celebrate Lunar New Year unless you're invited, right? And that was responded by a politician who said, I hereby invite everyone. So, my question to you is, how would you feel if someone who is not part of your culture decided they want to celebrate your celebrations, decided they wanted to take up that, and how would you feel?
I wouldn't really be offended. I'd actually be like honored, like that people want to learn more about my culture. Yeah.
I think for me it's like if people get interested in my culture, I feel like that spreading my culture to other people, give them like new information about and like wanting to learn about different cultures, like how it works. For me, it's like kind of like an honor as well. Prince said so. It's kind of really nice for me if people want to learn more about my culture.
I agree. I'd be glad too if my culture spread that far to the point that everyone wants to celebrate.
For me, I feel like it's an impact. You know how for someone to like understand your culture, or like how you celebrate it, it's an impact for other people to come in and enjoy it and learn from it. That's how I feel. Like I feel like it's just learning other and new cultures as we grow in life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Can I actually ask something that goes along with this question?
Yes, please.
Do you guys, so I think it's great that you guys are very open to having people learn and take part in your culture, cultural celebrations. Um, have you guys witnessed or heard of times when people have maybe taken it too far and kind of maybe overstepped, trying to be a part of somebody else's culture or celebrations?
Please can you repeat the question?
So has there been a time that you've either experienced yourself or have kind of just witnessed where somebody has maybe overstepped trying to be a part of a cultural celebration?
Could you like explain in layman terms, like what do you mean by overstep?
Yeah, that's all.
Basically like cultural appropriation, trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to celebrate this type of culture, but it ends up almost being like making fun of or poking at it where it's you're not celebrating, you're just trying to make it who you are when you're not a part of that culture.
Oh yeah, I have an instance because there was a time that I brought my one of my what's it called one of my Asian friends, like one of my family gathering. So I don't know why he thought, but he kind of started using like our accent. We kind of
Mhm.
offended some people that were there because we know your normal accent because some of them know him,
Yeah.
so they know his normal accent. So they kind of offended like how we're trying to mix his accent just to, like more feel more alike in us.
Yeah.
I think there's a distinct line where if you're not part of that culture and you want to celebrate it, whether or not that place comes from being genuine or if it becomes performative. And I
Mhm.
think that is what decides how we look at things.
For me, it's a two-way. Like it can be he's trying to learn the language and trying to speak more to other people, and some people feel like it's what he's trying to learn. But to other people, it's like you're mocking their language, you're mocking how they talk, you're mocking how they celebrate their culture. So it really depends on how they view it.
Mm.
I have a first hand experience on my way here. Uh,
Oh.
about the Toronto culture. It was basically like me and Danny were getting stereotyped by like two little kids.
Oh,
Like as soon as they got onto the bus, they were talking. No, when they were going onto the bus, they were talking normally. But when they were on the bus, they started talking like Toronto mans. They're like, "Oh, you blessed YGs, blah blah blah," all this stuff. And I was really like, I was flabbergasted because I was not expecting that because they were like from like an urban area. Yeah, so I don't know if that would count.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a tradition for Lunar New Year, and this tradition is red envelopes. And I was actually just talking to Daniel about these red envelopes yesterday.
Yes.
And red envelopes, yes, you know it. Red envelopes are envelopes that contain money, usually given to a younger generation. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's
Daniel.
triggering.
And usually, the reason that we do this is because we want to give blessings of fortune and prosperity to a younger generation. Of course, that if you want to receive a red envelope, you kind of have to also say blessings and prosperity to the older generation, and like, in sickness, don't get sick, please. We wish you good health, all of that things. So I was wondering, do you have celebrations that also wish prosperity towards a younger generation, or what do your celebrations theme around?
What do white people culture celebrations theme around? Mayonnaise, bad dancing,
Oh my gosh.
Bad food.
bad food.
And chicken music.
What is that?
What's chicken chicken?
Don't know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't.
It's the like
Like swimming?
no, it's the I don't know.
So we from Africa.
And then it's
That's like Zumba music.
Yeah.
Zumba?
That's all white, bro.
Oh yeah.
So will like a wedding count? Cause how
Yeah.
we like
How
Oh yeah.
so how we celebrate weddings like back home, like where I'm from. So we spray a lot of money on like the bride
Ooh.
and the groom. Like, I mean a lot of money, cause that's like kind of giving them like money for them to take their housing to just start your life, like start a new start. Cause that's just like blessing them, like they should have like a long and like faithful marriage.
Mm.
I think that's also a tradition that transcends, I guess, individual culture because it is customary for a wedding that you gift the new couple something that signifies their new walk together.
Yep.
So I think that's something that now it's different culturally in everyone's own cultural identity, but it also transcends culture in the fact that everyone does it. It just looks different to different people.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me and Chris, so we're Africans, right? And
What?
how we so how we do ours is like it's mainly food and prayer.
Mm.
We either pray and be like we pray for good health, prosperity, long life, and the food we usually cook it to like show what's it called inherited from our parents and grandparents, and we pass that on to our children. That's if we're learning though.
It's a good thing you mentioned food because here's a new question. What does your food look like in celebrations? Especially, so for us, Lunar New Year, our food is very fresh, very little processed because we want to flush out the toxins in our body and we want to make it like New Year, new me kind of thing, right? So a lot of the food is going to be very fresh and there's not going to be a lot of like processing or cooking too much. The less cooking you can do, the more healthy, right?
I don't know. For my culture, I'm from Barbados, as I said, it's a little different. For us, is like for New Year's, like I want to say normal New Year, but for New Year
New Year's.
observed outside of Lunar New Year, like we just cook food. Like the only thing that's different is that we just cook a lot of food. So for Christmas, my family we have like 6 different macaroni dishes. We got like 5 different ways to do rice. We got turkey. We got ham. We got chicken. We got fried chicken, big chicken, deep fried chicken. We got every kind of salad you can think about. Like I think us in the Caribbean, we make Christmas. I don't know how to say it, but for us, Christmas is more than just. It sounds bad. It's more than just a religious celebration. It's our culture too. So our food really speaks. Yeah, it really impacts us. So our food really speaks to who we are. Like for white people, they just do a turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy. But I no offense, Daniel, but and broccoli. I'm sorry, I'm broccoli. But yeah, for like our culture, like my mom, like we have a table that sits 6 people, and for Christmas we have to go and rent other tables just to put the food on. That's how crazy it is. Like I think we go overboard, just in my opinion. But yeah,
For us, me and Chris, as we're Africans, so we cook.
I have one question. Why isn't Chris speaking?
So he's giving me the ideas though.
Yeah.
This is gonna feel like we're
Right.
So Chris
So
is the behind the scenes, and then Ade's the actual the front line.
we the food we cook we mainly like during Christmas or Easter. It's like we cook like jollof rice. So
Mm.
that jollof rice is good. It symbolizes what's it called, our own culture as Africans. Yeah.
Don't mind the crinkling chip patch.
So for me, as my ancestors are from East Africa, I myself was born in Germany. Um, I remember this one time I went to Kenya for Christmas. My grandfather killed a goat, so we had goat, samusa, mandazi, chapati, nyama choma. There was like a lot of East African food, which I wasn't really used to because I was like normally like just celebrating it in Germany, and Germany is really different from Africa, like in terms of food and like sorts of other stuff.
Awesome. So,
As a young adult now, is there any part of your cultural upbringing um, that you maybe when you were younger you rejected or just didn't want to take part of, but now that you're a young adult, you're embracing it and you're celebrating it?
it seems so like so trivial, but for me, a big part of our culture is manners. So it doesn't matter whether your mom speaks to this person or if you and your mom and this person is at war. You just pass, you say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how's your day, have a good day. Like that's just who we are in the Caribbean. And as a kid, I'm like if you're not talking to her, why do I have to speak to her mom? Like, doesn't make sense to me. But now that I'm an adult, it's like it just seems ingrained in my posture as an individual just to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Like I don't know, it just seems ingrained in me, and I feel like I subscribe to it now because if it feels correct as an individual, I feel good when I do this.
Do you feel good when you say hi to people you don't like?
Ooh, interesting. Actually, I do. It takes a lot for me not to like a person, and I find that I don't know. My mom always just told me it's better to kill people with love. So most of the people I don't like, I keep them very close to me, and I just keep doing good things for them. I just keep saying hi, good morning, helping them with schoolwork. Daniel,
oh,
Toby, sorry. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. For me, it takes nothing off of me. It doesn't. I don't lose anything by being good to someone else. Whether that person likes me or I like them, I don't lose any part of my personality, any part of my character, or any part of my being by being nice. It actually cost me more mentally to hold on to anger. So yeah, it does. It does make me happy to say hi to my to the people I don't like.
what is a cultural value that your grandparents or parents handed to you that feels more like a heavy suitcase than a gift? How do you decide when it's okay to set it down?
A cultural value that kind of like my grandpa kind of gave to me is that if you're doing something and you're not getting anything in return, then don't just do it. So that's one thing that is like it really troubled me for like a while. It was like when I was like between 10, because like he kind of taught me that if I'm doing something for someone else and not gaining anything, that I shouldn't just do it. I should not like put myself in that position. And like nowadays, like my friends like do things for me like without even getting anything back. So I kind of like got that sense that I don't have if I do something, I don't need to get anything back. So yeah.
So for me, my grandma, when I first went to Africa, she said when I come back, I better learn her language, which I still didn't learn. So I think that's one thing. Like I don't even know if I can learn it anymore because like I heard that like once you're past puberty, which I'm almost done with, it's harder for you to learn a language. So yeah.
I think I have one. I think I have one. Um, my culture really values leadership, and when you're put in a position of leadership, they don't expect you to drop the ball. So for them, it's like you're this. Once they acknowledge you as a person of leadership, you're a leader in the community, a political leader, a church leader. That is your identity. You're not allowed to walk away from that. You're not allowed to have weak moments or anything. And I find like now, as I'm here in Canada, and I work specifically with new Canadians and homeless Canadian teens, I find that this is something that I've kind of fought with because I find it so hard to just keep taking at other people's baggage all the time and not be able to sit back and say, look, when is it time for me to put leadership down and work on who I am as an individual? So I think that's it for me. Like my culture really values leadership. If you're a leader, that is your identity. It becomes a part. It almost attaches a directly to your name. And when people see you, they identify you. Oh, this is Josiah. He runs this program, or he's in charge of that. And here, it's almost as if I want to kind of separate from that. I want to be just Josiah. I want to be a leader in this situation, but I also want to be just Josiah in the other situations. You know? Yeah.
How does your generation perform differently on social media than your parents' generation? And if you see like culture on social media, how does it feel different? And in what way does it feel different than, let's say, performing so culture, sorry, culture, like in your own private spaces?
I want to say, I think it's funny how you keep saying your generation, yet I'm pretty sure everyone in here is all part of the same generation.
Yes, your generation.
Yes, Gen Z.
Well, I'm expecting that.
Oh.
Tanya is going to be providing red envelopes to everyone.
They will be empty though.
Oh. She doesn't want you guys to prosper and have good health. And
I need to prosper first.
Wait, what was the question?
So the question was, how does your let's start with this. How does your generation or our generation perform culture on social media?
I think like our generation, like as putting stuff online, they kind of they put it in a way that's like more easier for people to understand than showing like the actual meaning of it. Cause in my culture, sometimes we have something called Ojudua. It's kind of like a kind of festival. So there's a man, like a person in a mask that follows like people around and like whooping them, basically. So in like my culture, that's kind of like a sense of fun, as kind of it's a sense of fun and sense of just like for you to play around with the elderly, to you to be around the young people of our generation. But online, they kind of put in a way that like person in the mask is kind of laid back and like doesn't really do anything to anyone again.
Can you repeat the first part?
Oh, the question right now is, how does your generation or our generation perform culture on social media?
I wouldn't really know how, but all I know is that like our generation compared to like our parents' generation, like if you were to post something, you'd reach like a broader audience because almost everyone has access to social media now. And I don't think like in the 80s and in the 90s, 70s, like they had anything like Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. So yeah,
I think in our generation, the way we portray our cultures, it's slowly fading compared to previous generations. Like instead of showing the full extent of certain traditions, you just cut it off to try and assimilate to the general population.
I have to agree.
I have to. Anyways, I have to agree. I find that we wear culture as a badge now. It's less as it has less symbolic significance, and for us, is okay. This is my culture. This is a badge I'm wearing. It goes on my coat, and it only matters when someone violates it. You know,
I agree.
like
yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
Um, I don't know. I feel like if you're not from the culture, you don't really know what the meaning of the culture is. Like, if you're not there or you're not born there, you don't like. You can't. How will I put it?
Can't fully understand.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fully understand it if you're not with it as one.
I think I agree because at school there's this random dude I don't even know him. He's like an acquaintance. This guy's always spamming the N word, and he's from Iran. So he was like, I was like, oh, why do you keep saying that? He was like, first he said, oh, cause you guys say it, and I was like, nah, it doesn't work like that. And then he said, uh, I went through the same struggle as you, and I was like, what do you mean by that? Were you a slave? Like, were your ancestors slaves? And he was like, no. So yeah,
Have you ever tried to explain a cultural tradition to an outsider and realized that there's a part of it that simply cannot be translated into words?
Oh yeah. One for an instance, I try to like kind of explain like how back home how we like find something as fun. How what we find as fun is different from what other people find as fun. Cause us just like for other cultures, like just staying out late, just staying with your friend is kind of seen as fun. While like for us back home, like just cooking with your family is just found as something that's fun and like you want to do it all the time with your family. But for other people, just like staying with your family, like cooking, just cooking, not even eating the meal, like cooking the meal with your family is found like as something like you want to do every time.
I agree with Daniel. I feel like if you mainly just go out with your friends or just have fun, it's not really what we used to do back home. We are just we mainly just chill, talk with our family, cook like he said, and talk and have fun with our family.
One thing from my culture is as a German, like when I first came here, like people always wondered like why I was so direct, and that's one part like I can't explain. Like it's just part of my culture. Like in Germany, like everyone is like keeps to themselves, and here in Canada, everyone's like so vocal. Like, oh, what did you do? How was your weekend? In Germany, like if you were to go to work, no one would be talking about it. Everyone would just be focused on their task.
Is there a tradition you perform so automatically that you don't even have to think about it? And if you stop doing it tomorrow, what part of your identity would feel unplugged?
I think a tradition that almost everyone in this room does. I don't know if it's a tradition, but speaking like their own language. Like I think it's a big part of yourself. Like if you were to like not speak your own language, I don't think you'd like feel like part of your culture anymore. Like for example, if you like if someone's speaking like Yoruba, right? And you forgot how to speak it, and then you go to a gathering where there's a lot of people from Yoruba, you'd feel like out of place. So yeah.
For me, I feel like it's the music.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
Mm.
if your country music, it's always special to you because that's how you all relate to each other. That's how you all connect with each other. It's mainly just about the music and how we roll as people in the
I
culture.
agree. Also, I would argue that music is the heartbeat of any culture. And the moment you unplug that heartbeat, then the culture itself has to be lost. Like look at Nigeria has many different cultures, and each culture has their own identity through music. You could hear in the way they speak, the way they accentuate different parts of the words, the way they move their body when they're listening to the songs. You know what I mean? I feel like the moment you unplug that, you're actually kind of, I guess, not even diminishing. You are combating the culture. You're literally fighting against it. I think music's the heartbeat. Music in any given part of any given of the world, for any different culture, is that heartbeat.
Well said.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. So what is a tweak you've made to a recipe that your grandparents would probably hate? And why have you made this tweak to the recipe? And why does it work for you?
Are you talking about mainly food or?
It can be food or something else.
I think for me, a social recipe would be in our country, we have the saying, ever so welcome with for a call.
Hmm?
It basically means don't come at my house unless I invite you. Right? Don't come to my house unless I invite you. And I find that since I've moved to Canada, it's kind of been like, I just literally call people and say, I'm downstairs, open your door. You know? It's like the, it sounds so bad, but the barriers, that kind of respect that was very much present in my culture back home. We're very close, we're very good people, but we have boundaries that we don't cross. And I find in Canada, it's just like, yo, I'm free, you're free, we're going to one of our houses and we're chilling. And I think my grandma would just be like cussing me out if she was here.
Okay, so one last question then. So this is gonna circle back to food, right? Is there any food that is part of your culture that you think is overrepresented? And what food would you recommend for someone to try that's from your culture? The reason I'm saying this is because I'm so tired of so many pho shops around, but I understand why it's around. But if I wanted to recommend something, I would recommend a different kind of soup, like banggang or bumbawe.
Wow, that is so culturally insensitive, you
Oh
guys.
my gosh, I'm being attacked.
No, it's because of how Josiah was looking. She was like,
Tanya, I stand with you and your soup.
My soups. Yes. All right. We're canceling the 180 now. Everyone get on Twitter.
So one food that like that's like overly represented for like my country is probably
Jollof
jollof
rice.
rice. Yes.
Yes.
So like for me, that is one. It's a good dish, but like I want someone like to taste other things. We have like pounded yam and like a wedu. Like those are like different things that I personally I think they're like really good. But like I don't know, people not many people have really tried it because they only focus that one dish jollof rice. So yeah.
I agree. I could get canceled for this, but I'll say this: Nigerians have formed an identity around jollof rice, and it's good. I'm not gonna hold you; it's good. But is it like the entire country eating it every single day? Good? No. So it's definitely overrepresented. Give me some pounded yams. Give me some
Ewedu.
yeah. Give me some goofy. Yeah, bono. Give me some of those, bro. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we'll just mainly know that we cook jollof rice or fufu, and that's good though. I agree. That's a huge impact, but that's the only thing we're known for. We have different other dishes in Nigeria that you could try apart from the jollof rice though.
I think it's not only for Nigeria. I think it's about Africa. Like, if you say you're African to someone, be like, "Oh, are you a fufu muncher? You like fufu?"
Oh my gosh.
Like, that's like a
Like,
big
someone's
part.
gonna
And
be
Africa is like
African
such a diverse place.
Even though we went the jollof rice.
I think it like needs respect, like for every single like culture.
RESPCT.
All right. So, guys, before we end, I got a question I want to ask you guys. And the question is, if your grandchildren eventually speak no word of your native language and know nothing about your rituals, would your journey to Canada have been successful or a tragedy?
I think a tragedy, because I don't think any family came here to assimilate their own culture,
I think,
or to get rid of their own culture.
yeah, something's not right, but I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Anyone else?
For me personally, it would still be a success because none of us, none of us knew like.
It's kind of embarrassing because you're Ugandan, you don't even speak Lukanda, so it's crazy.
Yeah, so none of us knew our like local languages anyway, so it wouldn't really change much.
So you were already a disgrace to start with.
Oh,
Well, I wasn't even born there, but shit.
Wow, crazy.
So I have something to say. So, hey, what does that mean? Okay, so as someone who is born in Canada, my grasp on the Vietnamese language is not 100% fluent, right? And it shows. It shows because, especially when I'm speaking to family, they have a specific accent that I cannot replicate, especially family back in Vietnam. There is this, there's a phenomenon called cultural dysphoria. And it is the phenomenon where children of immigrants or other children of immigrants start losing slowly their culture and start to feel alienated from their parents or from their original culture. And as we process or like progress towards, mm, I guess, staying here, that dysphoria can become stronger. So I think the dysphoria, part of the dysphoria is also speaking to like the loss because it is a culture that their parents or grandparents had, right? And then now you don't have that culture.
Okay, I can get behind that. I got another question for you guys. It's quick. Is it fair for the youth to pick and choose which parts of their culture to keep? Is it fair for the youth to pick and choose which parts of their culture to keep while discarding the hard parts and the strict morality that comes with culture? Is it fair?
yes, it's fair
Why is it fair?
because you're allowed to choose what you want.
But why are you allowed to wear Uganda as I said? Why are you allowed to wear your Ugandan heritage as a pin? It only matters when it's in question. Outside of that, you're okay. I'm now Canadian. You're dancing, singing, living Canadian life, but you only reminisce or recognize Uganda when your heritage comes into question. Is that fair?
Yes.
Why?
Fair to who? Me or the ancestors?
Fair to all the other Ugandans that couldn't make this trip to Canada, that couldn't change or couldn't afford or didn't have the mental fortitude to come and make the trip to make the step towards a better life.
All I have to say is their loss. If you got here, you can't just be the exact same way you were back home. You have to change with the
Oh my
change.
God, Jesus.
You
I
know?
I personally, personally,
Shut
personally,
up.
I do not
It's
think
gonna be in viral
it's fair
audio.
because
Wait.
if you're like claiming or like let's say you're saying you're part of that culture, you have to embrace it. Like you have to like the good and the bad parts. You have to like integrate it into your life, no matter how bad like some parts are.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that, man. I gotta agree with that. I don't like most like as a West Indian, as a black man, as a Barbadian, there's certain things about black culture, Caribbean culture, Barbadian culture that I do not like. But whether I like it or not, that is who I am. I don't wear it as a pin, but I wear it as a skin. It is a lens that everyone is going to see me through.
That's a
And
bar. That's a
yeah,
bar.
it is. You know, this is a lens that everyone is going to see me through. Whether or not I accept it, that's the lens they're going to see me through. And it only helps me to accept it and walk through it. It only helps me. So, all right, let's go. One more question before we wrap up. And I think that question is going to be: does the pressure to be a good, successful new Canadian, like a doctor, engineer, law abider, force the youth to suppress their true personalities more than they would have back in their home countries? So, like for you guys that are African, like myself, people assume because we came to Canada, we were already successful. Does the pressure to be successful, to be a lawyer, an engineer, a doctor, to be a law abider, to be someone that everyone can look up to and say, oh, he was once my friend, now he's rich, he's successful. Does that pressure force you to put aside what you want for yourself and just start to walk in line of what society wants for you because you're afraid of looking like you're a failure?
Um, some people yes, but then there's some people that just don't care and they'll just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, I think I agree.
I think we say that, but no one is like that. I feel like there's no one person that wants to go up against a firing squad of their old peers and see that people that they left back home is are now ahead of them.
I mean, yeah, but like that's if they like keep in contact with those people. But like, there's some people who just like move countries and then
Boy,
they're like,
let's be real. Your
yeah,
mom keeps in contact with that nosy neighbor.
oh yeah, but the nosy
That's
neighbor
true.
doesn't
And
talk to
that
me
nosy
though.
neighbor is gonna post her son who graduated with a university degree in engineering, and her mom is gonna be like, Emma, this boy will not even go to school. You know? So let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. When we're comparing ourselves to our peers on an even playing field, if it is that them going back, them having to stay back there was good and they succeeded and we came here and we wasted, squandered the opportunity, we're going to feel bad, bro. And ultimately, I think it kind of I guess disgraces the move in a sense.
Yeah, I think I agree. Um, I think some people feel like they just wasted like their entire like life basically because they had to switch from like one culture. Like let's say you came from like Uganda and then you came here. It's like completely different, and you like think you wasted all that time, like all that effort, all the money for moving countries.
For me, there is pressure because you left your other country, you came to a new country, and they expect you to be rich and have all this money. Or in real life, you're just trying to struggle and trying to make ends for yourself.
That's the truth. The struggle
But
is real, bro.
at the same time, to all of us, it's a big achievement to leave one country and go to a very big country. But at the same time, it's very different because you're adapting to new culture, adapting to new people, adapting to the way they live, the system of how they're being trained, and how you can im- impact from that. But at the same time, they think we're just chosen kind of people. We left Nigeria, we came to Canada, we're just new people, we're making money, we're doing this.
I kind of want to add on to what Ade just said. I think like for a lot of African culture, as soon as you leave Africa, they think you made it. As soon as you leave Africa, they think you're rich, and then they're telling you to send money, and they think it's like paradise. But they don't. I guess they think that as soon as they leave, like there's no struggle in Canada or wherever you are.
I agree, but I still want to make sure we're staying in frame of the question. Like that is the case, but how do you as an individual, like, let's make it personal, let's get personal, how do you as an individual feel about it? Like, when you're looking at your peers back home, guys, like it sounds so horrible to compare yourself, and you should only be in a competition with yourself. But it also makes sense that you analyze the competition in the sense of this is where you started and where your end line is going to be, right? So, how do you as individual feel that there could be people back home in your country, whether it's Nigeria, Uganda, Barbados, Scarborough Town Center. Don't worry. Yeah. How do you feel that there are people who were not able to make the move, but yet still they're able to succeed under pressure? Like they are diamonds in the rough based on their experience. Like how does that make like as an individual? It sounds so bad to say like, oh, I don't want to see my friends back home succeed. It's not the case. But I wanna for me it's always to make sure like this trip has to be symbolic. It has to be a symbol that I came from nothing and I can be the light that everyone I guess acclimatizes to. Look at what Josiah did, so you can do it too. I don't want to be Josiah went to Canada, became a pot smoker, weed smoker, now he's a drug addict, you know?
It's like bad because they didn't have to do all of this, and then they're like already that they're still like happy. You see your friends posting, and you're like, oh, I used to be with them, yada yada. But like, yeah.
I agree with what Haley said. Mainly because how will I put this? It's if you came from your own country and came to Canada or another country, you take a huge step. You made a big what's it called? You made a huge step, right? And at that same time you wanna adapt to it. You're starting a new life, new people, new job. You're starting everything basically your whole life. And sometimes it's like it's what's it called? It's a burden to people because we feel like they feel like, oh, we just came here, we see new people, we see white people, you're like changed, but at the same time, it's very hard to, change what we've done in our country and trying to adapt to new things here in this country. So yeah.
I think that's why some people like when they move countries, they get culture shock. Like they're
Yeah.
like confused, they're having stress, high blood pressure, like all that stuff is like as a result of like moving countries.
I definitely agree. I think this is a great place to end the podcast for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It was a great discussion. Cultural and traditional norms.
Yep. Thank you.
Green apple!
Thanks for listening. This has been The 180. Seek the challenge, be the change.